But if they still can recognize what they're doing, and they know what they're saying, their salah would be accepted in terms of being an obligation that they have to fulfill. But now the reward, this is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wallahu ta'ala.
Is it permissible to hit children for discipline? If so, since what age? Also, just a brief comment on the whole issue of hitting children for discipline.
Because I hate mine.
One thing which I would like to mention first of all regarding the question which was asked earlier is that the brother who has a problem with alcoholism or drugs, or the sister, he or she should try to seek professional help, and there are ways in which inshallah they can get habits. And there are medications, there is counseling therapy. There are different things which are available, so we should seriously look into them. And also keep a company which will keep them away from these things. As far as hitting children is concerned, it is illegal. In this matter.
Can I add a little bit on this? Actually, in some states, in some like Texas, where I came from actually earlier, there's difference between beating and spanking. So they make a difference over here, which means parents, according to the law, they have the right to spank their children. And spanking means you cannot use force that is excessive, and you are allowed to use the hand, an open hand only. And without force, which is subhanAllah, the same fiqh description, leaving no marks, breaking no bones, causing no severe damage. It's basically spanking, and to be on the lower part, which is basically majamma lahm, as they say, means basically where it doesn't really hurt any much. It's a matter of disciplining the child. If the disciplining is this, what you mean by that? Yes, but if beating in order just for the parent to feel good, then that's different. Many parents, unfortunately, when they beat their kids, they're just answering a problem that they cannot find a vocal answer for. So they slash back on their kids and they start beating them. Why? Because enough is enough, that's it. That's not an answer for the situation. If you are going to be using a physical force, it has to be a final resort for something legitimate. However, this is not the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, she said, Rasulullah ﷺ never laid hand on his wife or his children at all, even not even a servant. Just like we mentioned, Anas radiallahu ta'ala anha, who was sent to for something he didn't do it, he forgot, and the Prophet just reminded him to go and do so. Allah. So by law, I believe it actually depends on the state and depends on how they allow it or not. I don't know about Illinois yet. But Texas, they say actually, yes, is it illegal here completely in Illinois? I mean, it's just something you have to check with the professionals in this issue, but still doesn't mean to go and start, using it if it was legal. Just like some of the Sahaba, when they heard the ayah in Surah An-Nisa, they immediately start exercising that. And then the women came complain to the Prophet ﷺ, and the Prophet ﷺ said, those are not good people.
How the children from age 14 to 17 show their love to their parents and relatives. So what are means and methods or ways that children of 14 and 17, teenagers, show their love to their parents and relatives?
These are very interesting questions. I would simply say the same way they've been showing it from 5 to 14. Anything you obey, you try to, one thing is that, again, as some of us mentioned in the beginning, that it's very important to nurture our children with Islam, with Tarbiyat al-Islam, with the proper fostering, so that our children will not be a fitna for us, so that they can be a help for us in our taqwa. As I mentioned about Ibrahim alayhi salam, and I mentioned about his son Ismail, that when he had that dream, his son was very willing to assist his father in taqwa, assist his father in exercising the commandment by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But that was because of what? Because of not only this love for the father, because no son has that much love. The average son, if not any son, have that much love for his father to see his, to hear his father say, I've had a dream to kill you. But here we see the quality of their relationship based on the devotion of Ibrahim alayhi salam. And so therefore his son was convinced that because of this outward show of devotion and sincerity to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says, if'al ma tu'man, inshallah akuna min as-sabirin. So he's helping his father in obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but that was because Ibrahim did his job by nurturing his son by his own example. So therefore, the children should still show love, not just from 14 to 17, but all the way through their lives, based on the fact that they have this respect and this love because of, number one, the tawfiq that Allah Azza wa Jal gives them because of their devotion and sincerity to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So 14 and 17, they show it by still showing kindness, obedience to their parents, softness, compassion, respect, everything that they should have been showing from the beginning, and Allahu Akbar.
I think the thing is, when a father loves his 1-year-old son, is a lot different than a father loving his 17-year-old son when he's becoming a man. So how does a 17-year-old son who's becoming a man loving, how does he express his love to his father? I think that was the thing. You see what I'm saying? He's becoming a man, and how does he show that?
Can I comment about this?
Yeah, and I think we should also mention, as the Sheikh was mentioning, about the importance of exercising this communication by telling, because sometimes this relationship, it becomes egotistic. I'm not going to say, you still have to tell your sons and your daughters, I love you, and they should be taught to say the same thing. I even asked my son, you love me? Not at the time when he's mad at me, of course, because it's always a no. But you ask and you develop that as a habit in the house to tell each other, I love you, you love me. This is a very good practice.
And this is what I was going to comment about. Unfortunately, this is something that you see in this society because there isn't much exchange of emotions in here. Whereas if you go back home, everybody's hugging everybody, everybody's going like this, even if it's a 17-year-old, hugs and kisses all around, I love you dad, I love you. It's unfortunately, this is a reflection of the culture in here, and it might happen to our young brothers who are growing up here. So I think it's how you set up what's the relationship that you have at home. If the kid is growing up all their life hearing, I love you son, inshallah, it will be very easy to reciprocate this sentence, inshallah, back. Does the wife has the same right as the husband when she asks him to come to bed?
Please avoid these questions. It is embarrassing. It is embarrassing.
We were talking about the rights of a husband and wife. We mentioned that a husband has a right on his wife that when he calls her to bed that she must respond, and that's his right over her. And I was thinking about mentioning it then, but funny story which happened is when we were discussing this last night, long time ago. But brother asked the same question. He's having a discussion with him. Older brother, obviously at that time I was there. He said, I get it that the wife calls her husband